Hi guys, Dr. Jim Gishwin here. Welcome to another week of We Love America. I'm a retired intelligence specialist, former leading chief of Office of Naval Intelligence in the Pentagon. And old enough to have lived in about the fifth row back in history, not the nosebleed section and not the 50-yard line. So I got a little perspective on things. A couple things. I'm going to sit there and say something before I get into Charlie Kirk. This is very complicated. And there's a bunch of people getting fired for sitting there. This is insane. America shouldn't be like this. Okay? But before we get into that, Russia's attacked Poland with 14 drone strikes. And, of course, Poland's a NATO member. So we're this close to World War III. I don't think Trump will sit there and honor the NATO pledge. Even though they did it for us for Afghanistan, I don't think he will. I'm praying he won't. It's a European war. Stay the fuck out of it. Right? That's the way I feel. Now, Putin has got to be handled at some point, but I think the Europeans can handle it. Poland's got a great military right now. They're not like they were in the 1930s. Okay? On horse against tanks and stuff. This is a lot different. They were able to shoot down most of the drones. What worries me also is Russia's making advances towards Finland, and also a NATO member, also a very excellent military. They've had to up there. They're scared to death of the Russians, and they've sit there and kept their military up. On to other things. I sit there and I'm required by law to show 9/11 things on 9/11 to my students by the state of Florida. He passed that into law last year, as well as instructing us to sit there and teach the difference between capitalism and communism, and also to teach American history, all of which I do. And I love doing those things. Okay? I kicked 6 students out of class today. I don't understand this. They're watching people fall from buildings and they're giggling. These are high school kids. What is wrong with our youth today? Besides the fact that only 20% of them can sit there and pass a military entrance exam. Which Robert F. Kennedy is trying to resolve. Look, 9/11, the recruiting offices were filled. It was the most united we've ever been. And to see these students giggle and laugh at such suffering really punched my ticket. And if I had my way, I would have kicked them straight out of school, not just out of my class. Another thing, look at this disgusting stuff going on about Charlie Kirk. Saying, oh, he begged for it by sitting there talking hate speech. Hate speech? Heck, this guy went in and had conversations, normal conversations like you and I used to have way back in the old days. Like Reagan and Tip O'Neill used to have. Okay? People at opposite ends of the spectrum being able to sit down and talk and just discuss. That's the American way, not this crap. And they're sitting there saying, oh, well, he was talking hate speech. Hate speech because he was talking about conservative values, family, honor, patriotism? That's hate speech? Yes, I'm upset. He was a great man. I can't even sit there and beg to be part of what he was able to do. I can only pray that if I reach one or two people in my lifetime that have accomplished something. We call that the ripple effect, remember? Used to be taught that. That no matter who we touch, no matter who we meet, we always affect them. Well, he affected a lot of people. He affected me. And I'm not a young person. But he affected the young people because he was able to sit there and talk to them. It's like Trump. People wonder why Trump's so popular. Trump's popular because he doesn't give a speech. He gets up there and just talks. It's like Roosevelt's fireside chats, for God's sake. And he's the most transparent person in the world. But then you got Trump derangement syndrome. And it's like he said, if he found the cure for cancer, everyone would sit there and get pissed off saying that he put X number of cancer doctors out of work. This is really getting sick, people. Now, all these newscasters and talking heads that has to sit there and say, well, let's see, he talks that kind of talk, you know, hate speech. Look, socialism, communism, progressivism has always been the people of violence. George Floyd, the Summer of Love, KKK, you name it, Democrats. Jim Crow laws, Democrats. And they have the nerve to call us Nazis. And I sit there and teach my students, I say, look, you can't call a conservative Nazi because the Nazi stands for National Socialist German Workers' Party. Socialist German Workers' Party, people. Leftists. The leftists always sat there and relied on violence. Stalin took over. Lenin took over. All these people, Maduro took over. All violence and killing. Communism and socialism have been responsible for more deaths than any wars we've ever had. Yes, I'm required to teach that, and I teach it. And people, you Democrats out there that have got common sense, I'm sorry, but it's been stolen from you. Don't listen to these people. They're not Democrats. They're radicals. Your party has been co-opted by the radicals. Communists, socialists. And they have the nerve to sit there and say this guy begged for it because he was talking hate speech. Hate speech? Family values? Common sense? Yeah, I'm ticked off. You betcha. The man was a great man, a good man, and a normal man. Normal. Quote, unquote. Get that through your head. Okay? Think of the old movie, Frankenstein, Young Frankenstein, with Mel Brooks. The brain that was abnormal. Well, that's these progressives, man. They are abnormal. At least one newscaster got fired for sitting there saying that he deserved it. And now they're sitting there, they're just repeating it. More and more of them. They're saying he deserved it because he's a conservative. This is sick, people. We need to really pray to God. And it does not call for you and me to sit there and get violent back with him. I abhor violence. Chill your roll. Slow your roll. But fight back verbally. Fight back at the voting box. That's how you can fight back. That's your power. Use it. folks, I'm a little ticked off. I'm going to leave you. I love you. Pray that we're not getting into World War III. Pray that Trump will make the right decision. I ask this in your name, Lord. Amen. And God, please protect all my friends out there. I love you. I respect you. And I always remain your very humble servant. Take care. God bless.